Hello guys, welcome to my setup video. If you're new to this, I don't do a lot on this channel. This is a vlogging, personal setup channel, a bunch of lifestyle stuff. I do have other channels. We're not here to talk about that. I hope this video does well, but if you want a rundown on what I'm going to touch on specifically on the setup, I'm going to be talking about the price. I'm going to talk about the price of everything. If you want me to go into the specifics, which I might do in this video, if you want more detail, I have a whole setup series, air quotes, that goes into specific parts like the lights and camera, or the monitors, or the PC. You can go watch me build my PC that I mentioned in this video. Yes, I did actually build my PC by scratch, which isn't a surprise, but you get to actually see me build it, and it's my first time. So if that doesn't sound tempting, then I don't know what does. But that's probably my best video on this channel, is me building my PC, mostly because it was my first time building it. So go check that video out. That video actually does pretty well. You know, I'm pretty proud of it, actually. A lot of work went into that. And yeah, I mean, this is not going to be as extensive, nearly as extensive. You're going to see some montages on certain things that I've taken from other videos that I've made, showing the stuff I have when I mention it. I don't want this to be particularly long, but I do want to, you know, I guess flex. And I know this doesn't seem very humble, but trust me, I haven't really mentioned the prices. And I did that on purpose in all my other setup videos, because I was like, that seems pretentious. So, but I'm doing it now, so I guess it's a bit ironic, but I'm doing it now just because I was like, well, it's pretty clickbaity. So the only time I've ever mentioned the price of something was my PC video. And even then, well, we're gonna go into the specifics here, but at the time it was lowballing. I wasn't actually honest. It was a little more expensive than $3,000. Spoiler alert, it was over $3,000. But yeah, we can start off right there. The PC itself, I'm super proud of it, but it runs a 3080 with a Ryzen 7 CPU processor. I think, what gen would that have been? This was in like 2019, so Gen 5, I think? I don't know. Can't remember. But it has a 1 TB SSD and a 2 TB hard drive. I think I'll upgrade that in the future, but it's in a O11 mini snow case. So if you can't tell, my setup it was meant to be mostly white. We've gone with a white and black because certain pieces, like what I'm talking into right now, my Shure SM7B, don't really come in white, and I'd have to skin it, and I think like most people watch this and dream of either making a setup for themselves or has a setup would know that it's not, you know, I feel like we're all kind of a little lazy, you know, so I didn't really want to go through all the trouble of skinning it, so I decided I'll put some other pieces in, you know, that are black and help it work together. But yeah, the PC is probably the most expensive thing, which it should be. I feel like if you're spending more on anything else besides your PC on a PC setup, I would have a lot of questions as to where you're putting most of your money. What's this? I think the second most expensive thing is my monitor. Now I have two monitors. I'm running a dual PC. Sorry, I wish a dual monitor setup. I have the Alienware AW. The QD OLED. I wanted to say the full name. I can't remember it. The AWD some 34DW. I think that's pretty close actually. But yeah, this was kind of expensive. Now, okay. I also want to preface something. In the thumbnail, I say over $10,000 setup, which is true in Canadian. Also, I think it's true in American, actually. I don't know. I haven't done the conversions, but there's a lot of pieces here, so I don't really want to do the math, but maybe I'll do it in the edit. I don't think I will. But yeah, the monitor, the QD OLED monitor in American is like $1,200. In Canadian, that's like $1,800. So you can imagine, yeah, everything else kind of gets inflated a lot. Canadian dollars are not valued a whole lot, but yeah, moving on. The second monitor isn't as expensive. At least in Canadian, I think I spent like 200. I want to say I spent like 200, 230. So in American, maybe that's like 120, maybe like a little over that, 150. I think it was $150 in American. So I mean, like slowly and surely, I mean, you can see the prices. We have the Shure SM7B, which is the thing I'm talking to. That is $600 at the time when I bought it. Was 620. It's gone down to like 580 now in Canadian dollars. I don't know what that is in American. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop with the conversion stuff. Actually, no. Wait. Sorry. The third most expensive item I have is my camera. The thing I'm looking at. So I have the ZV-E10, not the ZV-1. The ZV-1, yeah, I don't have the ZV-1, but the ZV-E10, which they both cost $1,000 in Canadian. So that's 1,000 plus 3,000. Like I want to say 3,500. No, it was like 3,400 for my PC, and then $600 from the Shure SM7B. So 600 plus a 300, 3,400. That's 4,000 plus another 1,000 with the camera. So we're at like 5,000 already. So that's basically where like half of the income goes. Now, if we're talking about the furniture, this chair was like, man, how much was the chair? This is, well, first off, I should probably say what the chair is. This is the Autonomous one. You've probably seen this chair before. It's not bad. I feel like it's one of those things where, in hindsight, like, is it that much better than a gaming chair? Probably not in my, like, I like this more than I would have liked a gaming chair, but I feel like sometimes I do kind of think about it and I'm like, I feel like there's certain limitations with this that, considering the price, I maybe should have done a different choice. But I still like the chair. But this was probably like, I like how I critique it, and I have to admit how much I spent. Like $600 in Canadian. Man, it really sounds like I'm made of money, but I'm just very broke. The keyboard, I have the Keychron. I forgot which one this is, but this is the TKL version. The Keychron keyboard. So I should probably say it. The reason, again, this is where I don't really go into detail, but the reason I got a Keychron keyboard is because the latency is not perfect. You know, it's I think it's 11 milliseconds if I'm correct. Not great for gaming, but it's not bad. And I really just wanted the feeling, you know, of a custom keyboard. Like, and I want to play around with it in the future. If I want to get really serious with the latency and all that stuff, I can get a different keyboard in the future specifically for gaming. But I wanted the feeling of having a custom keyboard and wanted to be able to like play around with it, especially switch with the keycaps and not the keycaps. Sorry, I mean sure, but the switches. I want to switch the switches out, and it's hot swappable. If you don't know what any of this stuff means, don't worry about it. But this is what I'm saying. I don't really go into detail. If you want to go into detail on the keyboard stuff, I have a video on the channel for that. And same thing with the mouse. I have the which one is this? The Razer Ultimate Mini. I don't know if this is the Mini. I can't remember, but it's the one that comes with the charging stand dock, the charging dock. I just like it. I was like, yeah, sure. Aesthetically, it looks cool. Now, in terms of audio, I got obviously the Shure SM7B I mentioned, but I got these headphones. These are the Beyerdynamic DT 880s. 880s? Yes, I think that's the correct term. The semi-open back, meaning, again, technical stuff. I'm not going to go into detail, but yeah, semi-open back, so I can kind of hear it in a sort of stereo, like it's sort of spacious, but it doesn't leak too much audio. It's half and half. And then it's hooked up to my Wave XLR. Now, this is really important because the headphones cost me, how much did they cost me? Like 200. I'm gonna say they cost me 200. Wave XLR costs me 200 as well. So that's like 400. The keyboard was like actually I think the keyboard was like 300. So that's like 500 and then 700 because of the 200, 400 plus 300, 700. And then I guess what else do I have for audio? I think that's it. So 700 for the audio, keyboard. Oh no, sorry. Because 5,000 I include the microphone. You know what? The math. Okay, for now I think we're at like close to 6 because I forgot the mouse as well. We're close to 6,000 at this point. And then I also forgot the second monitor. Yeah, so we're like at 6,000 at some point at this point. Oh yeah, and then the lights. So I have 2 Elgato key lights. Those are like 200 each in Canadian, I want to say. So that's like $400. And then, oh my god, yeah, my table. I totally forgot my table. So I have the IKEA desks, the Alex drawers. I can't remember how much these cost me. I think they cost me, I want to say the whole thing, like the 2 tables and the 4 drawers. I have 4 of them. I think cost me like geez, like I think it cost me like a decent amount, like $800. But then I'm trying to think how much was the Alex drawers at the time. I think they were like 200 each. It was like 150 each, maybe something like that. They weren't. They weren't. No, wait. That sounds like too. That sounds like the right amount, actually. I was gonna say that sounds like too much, but I feel like in Canadian that is the right amount. So then I remember. All I remember was that it cost me like 1,100 with the chair, the table, and the drawers. So I want to say that's like 1,100 on top of the 6,000 that I have. So that's like 8,100. Then the lights, like 8,500, and then my PS5, which cost me like 500. I want to say, like $500. It's $600 in Canadian. So yeah, that's like 9,000 because it you gotta add it to the 8,500. And then, oh man, I did the math earlier, and I know I'm right. It is over 10,000. I'm just trying to remember what I forgot. There's something in my face that I definitely forgot, or I messed up the numbers badly. I can't remember. There's also everything is kind of on stands, by the way, like the monitors and the camera. Everything is kind of like on a. Oh, there's also a boom arm for like my um, Shure SM7B. So I mean, like all these things included. I think the most expensive one is my Ergotron one for the ultra wide, the Alienware ultra wide I have. That one cost me like $200. I was like, damn. Damn. But the boom arm from Elgato, the low profile one, I think that was like 100. And then the other one that I have for this vertical is I think 100 as well. And then I have, that like $80, like to 100. It's like 100 something for the vertical one, and then like this is like $80 for the camera one. So I think that's another 500. So that's like 9,500. I do have a Switch, which is like 380, 400 if you want to round up. Again, I'm rounding down and rounding up a lot in certain places. So we're pretty close to like 10,000. I mean, if you count it, because I got it with when I got my setup and everything. I got accessories, so like an Xbox controller, that's $80. So you get to the 10K portion. You get my point. Like there's extra stuff here that technically are a part of the setup. Oh my god, I totally forgot. I have a capture card. That cost me like $250. So it's the which one is it? The HD 660X. So I can capture in 4K if I wanted to, but I don't do that. But I can do 1080 60 with variable refresh rate, which was the point, the variable refresh rate part, because obviously I was streaming, not streaming, sorry. I do stream, but I record from the PS5, so, and the Switch, but the PS5 has the variable refresh rate. So I think if I'm correct, that's essentially everything. I'm trying to look through my drawers to see if I have anything like specifically that I had forgotten. I know at some point I did have a different boom arm. I still have it. I had like you can see in my older videos. In my older, I mean like, gosh, like 2 years ago. I haven't been doing this for too long. I've been doing it for 3 years, which is a long time, but it's not like that long. In retroactively in terms of YouTubers and all their stuff, feels weird calling myself that, but I guess yeah. Well, why not? But if you see, I haven't had my setup for very long. I think I've had it for about 2 years, but things have changed. Like I said, I did want to add a hard drive to my PC. There's certain things I want to do. Like I really want to get the there's not really stuff I want to get for the setup specifically. I think the only other thing is like hard drive expansion. I think I'll get an 8 terabyte one just so I don't have to think about it, because I've already filled it up with all these kinds of games from Steam and applications and different stuff. But there's that, and then I wanted to get what is it called? The Stream Deck Plus. I was thinking about getting that. I don't want to spoil too many things, but like in general, most of the things I want to get aren't really setup related. They're more outside of it. Those are the only ones that are kind of setup related. Like, again, I don't want to really go into it because I feel like that's stuff you'll see on the personal channel. If you continue to, if you subscribe and you want to watch more, you'll see that and me doing videos specifically with those items. So that could be like vlogging, outside stuff, which I do vlog. I'm gonna be a little more inconsistent, or I might be more consistent depending on what happens? I'm being very ambiguous, which I think is funny because it's like I'm also not sure. I'm not trying to do this intentionally. Like it's just I'm not too certain. I think at some point you'll see or you won't. I will give it time. Give it time. But yeah, that's my setup. Over $10,000 in Canadian. Again, you guys could probably do the math for me. Also, there are things I didn't mention that I do technically have in my setup. So you're probably asking, hey, random dude. My name's Xana, by the way. But random dude, what did you use before you had this setup? Because you said you've had this setup for like 2 years, but you've been doing YouTube for 3 years. Well, I have a laptop. Now that's $1,000, but I'm not counting that as part of my setup because I don't really use the laptop as much anymore. I think I use it for school most of the time, but I haven't. I literally don't open that thing for like months unless I have like a paper to write or something. Just because I want to separate my school stuff from like everything I do in the setup. Because I'm not gonna lie, the setup is filled with videos, rough drafts, thumbnails out the wazoo. I have so many that I forget to delete, screenshots and games and tons of different things. So don't get me wrong, it's all jumbly, but I like it because it's technically organized because all of it is related to the same thing, which is YouTube. So I still keep my laptop, but I would hardly say it's part of the setup. But if you wanted to add it, again, semantics, it would be another $1,000. So it would easily clear the 1,000 point. Now, again, I think I'm still forgetting things because I swear to God, I did this back in the day in my head. Oh yeah, I have my mouse pad, which cost me like I think $80, but you're probably thinking, "Whoa, that's expensive." Again, I'll go check that video out to get the details as to why it costs that much. But if you're a mouse guy, and I know it's like a mouse dude, you have to be a mouse dude. You understand why the mouse is that amount. Is it worth it? I mean, I like it. I think it's not bad. I wouldn't replace it. I would just buy the same one if I ever did. Which is my like I don't want to use the word because I hear people use this word and I'm like, huh. Like, I roll my eyes whenever I hear it, especially when we're talking about setups. But my philosophy when it comes to setups is if I buy something for something specific, like for example the Shure SM7B, I don't plan on replacing it ever. Essentially, almost. Like I don't know if that counts for everything. Like obviously your PC has to get updated eventually, but like for example, my Shure SM7B, there's tons of microphones that are cheaper or you could say better value for more specific needs, but I just don't plan on replacing the Shure. Um, Another example, I don't know, like my mouse pad, sure. My keyboard, technically, like I did say, I would get a gaming keyboard, but you know, my point is, while this may look like, oh, this is a flex, or on the other side, you could say, wow, this is really irresponsible for you to just be spending all this money. I also want to, like, the reason I'm doing this is because I'm like, I don't plan on changing mostly anything here. So I was like, I might as well just do this now opposed to later because in 2 years, I guarantee it's not going to look too different. There'll be stuff added, but in terms of things switched and moved around, I'm like, I might as well just do I have a setup that's over $10,000 now opposed to later. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Again, like I said, this isn't going to be the end of like the setup stuff. I'm going to add things, but I wanted to make this video as like is homage even the right word? My head thought of homage, and I was like, I don't know if that's the right word, but like a send off. Oh my god, I'm really bad at English. A celebration. I don't know what the right word is. Basically, I just wanted to do this as a little FYI, I guess. Even though no one asked how much I spent from on my setup, but I'm not proud of it, but I am proud of it, if that makes sense. Like I'm proud that I have all this stuff and I'm using it. That's the right word. I'm proud that my lips just did that. Okay, cool. I'm proud that I am using the money wisely. That makes it sound like I'm talking about the spending of it. Okay, I'm using the investment. Let's put it that way. I don't like investment because I feel like that word's thrown around a lot and it's usually not used properly. But in this case, I think I'm definitely using it properly. I am Damn, this is a terrible way to send off the video. Point is, I'm using my setup correctly. I'm using it a lot, and I really think spending this much on a setup is not necessary. I always put that in all of the videos on my setup videos. But if you're passionate enough about it, like I was, and I still am, then sure, why not? Why not? Why not chuck a little bit of cash? I will say right now, you can definitely get my setup, and this is the hard truth of it. I'm just gonna have to bring the mic closer. My setup is way cheaper. My setup is way cheaper now than it was before. But at the time when I bought it, it cost me this much money. Am I proud of that? No. Am I sad about that? Yes. Was I impatient? Oh, absolutely. Should I have been more patient? I think yes and no, because in a certain way, I looked at it as like, if I didn't buy it at the time, I would have like 50 or 60 or 70 videos less than I do now on the main channel, and I would have some videos that I wouldn't have been able to really make because at the time it wouldn't have been relevant if I had waited like 6 months later after COVID was over, or COVID was longer than 6 months. But I mean, by the time the setup was completely finished, we had like, probably without me knowing, we had like 8 months left in COVID. Still a good amount of months though. Still a good amount of months where I felt like I was doing things, and I was appreciative that at least it was like, you know, even COVID ending, which I was actually kind of optimistic. I was like, yeah, even with COVID ending, which I thought it was going to end pretty soon. Yeah, I was like, I'm still going to use this setup for a lot of years. So yeah, I am pretty happy with how it all turned out. Am I broke? Absolutely. But I hope you guys enjoyed seeing me talk about my financial issues. But no, jokes aside, I will add things to the setup. I will do more irresponsible, I'm not putting air quotes because it is irresponsible, but irresponsible kind of videos of me showing like, oh, I bought this thing that costs a lot, but I'm doing this with it. Again, I don't want to spoil what some of the stuff is, but the stuff that is related to setup, you guys already know what that is. I mentioned it in this video, but yeah, if you guys are excited for any of that, or if you want to see some other videos on me doing different things like gaming, reacting, or streaming, I have 2 different channels for that. I also have a second channel as well from my main channel that has games that I will be posting more frequently, hopefully, that are not, I guess, main channel level kind of games. But on the main channel, has all the big stuff. If you can take a glance at it, it might not be your thing. If it's not, you can just come back here and just stick to this one. If you like streams, I've been streaming more frequently. I can actually say that I have been streaming more frequently, so you can go check out that. I stream on Twitch and on YouTube, multi-stream. And yeah, subscribe to whichever one you're more comfortable watching streams from if you like streaming. But aside from that, I think that's it. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I'm just double checking to make sure I didn't forget anything. I mentioned the consoles. I mentioned the monitors, the PC, the camera, the lights, the audio, the keyboard, the furniture. I think that's everything. That's everything. And if I did miss something, you guys can just go see the setup series, because I know for a fact I touched everything, and for the most part, mostly everything that was relevant in the setup series. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed. Remember to like and subscribe if you have, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Hope you guys have a good day. Take care, peace, and goodbye.